Okay. Well, okay. We ain't gonna do the EB2 one. We ain't gonna do the EB2 one. Let's do the love one. Let's do the love one. Because in a way, this is a love video. So if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome to my channel. This is not an astrology channel anymore. I mean, I'll leave up all my old astrology videos if you want to do that, you know. But this turned into a manifestation channel. But as I learned about manifestation, well, as we all learn about manifestation, right? We learn about ourselves because that's what it's about. It's about the inner person that we are, our inner man, our inner woman, changing the limited beliefs that we have grown up with that have made us go through things in our life that we probably haven't want to or should not have, right? So, but we've come to a point in our life where whether it's through anger, whether we want money, whether we really want that real, true connection with another person, we come to the point where we're like, okay, I keep getting the same results. Something has to change in my life. Something has to change in my life. And then you get to this point where you like, okay, if I, cause like when you say you date the same person, you don't really date the same person, but you do get the same outcome. And the common denominator is yourself, because I've dated millionaires. I've dated 9-to-5 dudes. I've dated dudes who hustle on the streets and still get money. I've had dudes who took me on trips, give me money. I've had all types of guys, right? I've been engaged 3 times. I had three separate rings. I've been engaged 3 times. So, but at the end of the day, it all kind of plays out the same, right? And so kind of did get to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not dating anymore. I'm exhausted. You know, if the same results happening, I don't want it no more. And then that's when, around that time is when I really delve deep into manifestation, but more or less like the inner work part, the self-concept part, and the self-worth part, because we manifest what we want. We want the money, we want the car, we want the relationship, but sometimes we do that and we don't work on ourselves. And working on ourselves is so important with manifestation, because manifestation is how you see yourself, how you wake up every day. Did you give gratitude this morning? How you see yourself is how people around you are going to see you. Everyone is you pushed out, right? And so I was like, okay, something got to change, and it's got to be me. I finally got to that point. I don't know what it will take for you, the audience, to get to that point, but you will get there. You will say, okay, I'm the common denominator. Something has to change. The way that I've been going about things, I'm not saying that the way you were going about it was wrong, because obviously you were doing it from a point of love and expecting love in return. But what I'm saying is, there are things about yourself that are going on inside your mind that are automatically on replay that you don't know, and they've always been there based on how you grew up, how your childhood was, different things. And these things that are already implanted inside your mind, they come out of you. They come out in your energy. They come out in the reasons why you do the things you do. And at some point in your life, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I want something different. What is it I have to change? I realize that it's not the people I have to change. And I'm not saying that they're not bad or good. What I'm saying is, stop trying to change them. It is you. So I got wrote down some notes, y'all. So I'm going to go over this for my notes. Hi, Roger. Welcome to my channel. So I said to myself, I said, what kind of specific person do I want versus the kind of specific people that I've been attracting, right? And I was like, okay, what kind of person do I want versus the type of person that I have attracted? So now I kind of put this list together. I'm not going to say it because I want to hurt my feelings. Hi, Carissa. Thank you. But it wasn't adding up. What I wanted, but what I was attracting wasn't adding up. And I was like, okay, well, there's something inside of my mind that is making me chase what I feel like I'm attracting versus, no, not even chase. There is something going on in me that is attracting these things and people that I don't necessarily want to deal with, but I deal with it anyway. And then I pour all my love into it, right? So I was like, okay. And the people that I like, because I have attracted healed people, whole people. And then we kept arguing because I really wasn't healed. And then them, as their free choice of right, this is before manifestation, right? They have the right to leave, right? And it was like, I got to a point when I was like crying and I couldn't understand. I was like, well, wait a minute. If I'm not showing up as a healed version of me and they are healed right now and that's what they're ready for, they have every right to leave. Please don't force a healed person to stay with you when you know you're toxic and you know you're not healed yet. If anything, manifest that y'all meet together. If it's really the person you want, if it's really a specific person, you can manifest that y'all meet at another point in your timeline where you are healed too, and y'all both are healed. And then it can be an ongoing relationship and not back and forth and not breakups, okay? I intend for that to make sense to who it needs to make sense to. So I had to ask myself, why do I keep attracting unhealed people and then try to pour my love into them? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much love you pour into an unhealed person, they have to heal themselves. Or better yet, you have to see them as healed. You have to see them as healed. You have to see them as healed. You have to affirm that they are healed. You may even have to step away from a relationship, give it a break, whatever, so you can work on telling yourself that they are healed and that you are healed and that they can only show up for you as the healed version of themselves, right? And then whenever you get the thoughts of, oh, they don't love me, that's why it didn't work. No. Hi, Jeffrey. When you get the thoughts of, oh, I didn't give enough, that's why they didn't love me, that's why it didn't work. No. When those thoughts start popping in your mind, that's when you need to be like, no, I affirm that I am healed and they are too. From now on, when you start having them negative thoughts, you're going to say, nope. You're going to squash it down. Nope. You know how like a toddler will say, nope. When you like, come here, bring me that candy. Nope, nope, nope. That's what you got to do to them thoughts and say, no, they are healed and so am I. And just doing that will help you a lot when things get rough, when you feel like you're about to cry, when you feel like it's over. Because at the end of the day, they're going to come back. If that's what you truly want, that's what you manifested for. That I have manifested my specific person. Gee, they come back. But have I done the inner work? Have I healed? So I really delved deep into this healing, right? And I was like, you know what? Karma. Why is the reason that I keep pouring my love into people that were unhealed, right? What is the reason that I keep pouring my love into people that are unhealed? And I had to say to myself, self, you know what it is. It's because there once was a version of you, me, that was unhealed and wanted to be loved as that unhealed version. And I never got that love as that unhealed version. Or even worse yet, I could not see that these people were loving me as a healed version of themselves because I was not healed. And so it doesn't matter what they did or what they said or how much they showed up for me. I would have never felt like it was enough because I wasn't healed on my own. And that is why I loved, at one point, I loved to pour my love into unhealed people. Now, not to say I still wouldn't, because as a coach, as a person, I'm going to pour my love into unhealed people. I'm going to help people try to get past the hump, period. But in relationships, that dynamic is done. I'm not dealing with nobody that's unhealed no more because I'm not an unhealed version of me no more. And this is when I always revert to Dylan James, and I love his style of coaching because why are you dealing with the unhealed version of your specific person? It's not them, it is you. Something inside of you feels the need to deal with the unhealed version of your specific person. Yes, you can manifest him. You can manifest him to come back to you 1,000 times 1,000, and they will. But when are you going to start manifesting them to come back as the healed version of themselves? When are you going to really truly look at yourself and act and look at the tough that's going on inside of your heart and your mind and be like, okay, I'm the reason why it keeps ending this way. Let me finally change this thing in my subconscious. Let me finally get this in my head. And once you subconsciously start working on this stuff and you think about these things before you go to sleep and you put these good thoughts into your head, you know what's going to happen to you? When they call in the 3D, okay, let's just not even say call. When they text you in the 3D, because you know how to read your specific person text, right? It's going to, two things going to happen. Either it's going to be a text that instantly you know, oh, they've been working on their inner healing. Or two, it's going to be the same version of them showing up. Which version do you think that you should respond to? I think this is a good time to ignore the 3D. Which version of this text are you going to respond to? You're only going to respond to texts and calls from your specific person that show that they are the version of them that is healed. You're going to keep getting the same results as long as you keep giving attention to the same actions that gave you the same results. You got to change. You got to work on your inner man, your inner being, and your subconscious. You have to heal that deep part of you. And this morning, this is what I did. I looked in the mirror. And I said, self. Now I'm looking at here, but I'm saying what I said. I said, self, I see the unhealedness inside of you. And I'm here to tell you today that I love that part of you and you are healed. You don't need nothing else but you. You are the love that you are seeking. It's already inside of you. The love that you are seeking, it is for you to give it to others. Yes, you can receive love back for others. Yes, we still want the 3D to affirm what we want, but we have to change who we are on the inside first. We have to be committed to healing ourselves first so that this time when our specific person comes back and they show up as the healed version of them, we can reciprocate. And now love can start to feel fair. And you know what I mean when you're in a relationship and you feel like, oh my God, I poured this into that person and I poured that into that person and I gave so much. You did. You did. And don't change that about you. But now let's start giving those things to the healed version of the person that we want. Let's stop entertaining the unhealed version of people that we don't want. That's why I love Dylan James, because he said this to me so much until I started to understand what he really was saying. And nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect, but there are things that you do not have to deal with. You can hear your specific person saying some ish that you don't like, and you don't have to deal with it. And you and if it does happen, you should say to yourself, why do I even want to deal with this version of this person? Why do I feel like I'm not good enough to not have to deal with whatever this version is showing up with you? And guess what? There's a reality where they show up healed as a version of the person that you want. So you don't have to worry like, oh my God, if I reject this version of them, we're never going to be together. You're always shifting realities with your thoughts. They ain't going nowhere. You never separated from them. The energy, the line of connection is always there until they pass on to the next energy field. Because I believe that beyond this flesh is another energy field. Until they go to that next level, or you do, you always connected. They always with you. Hi, Malik. Oh, thank you. And same to you. Everyone that comes through here, I wish that you are abundantly blessed and that you all have your manifestations, your dreams, the desires of your heart. That's what the Bible say. Now, I ain't no preacher or nothing, but I did grow up in the church. You can have the desires of your heart for sure, okay? But work on your inner man, on your inner being, on healing yourself. Stop getting mad with these people because they only reflecting a mirror to you of what's going on inside of you. And as you do the work inside of you, they change. It's not them changing, it's the way you see them that changes, and they show up how you see them. So if you keep seeing them as a cheater, or seeing them as a gambler, or seeing them as a liar, or seeing them as a mean person, even if they don't want to, they still show up in your reality at that time as that version of them, because that's the story that you're painting for them in your head. And you have to break it. Even if it's just affirming, they are healed. They are healed. I know some affirmations are hard or may seem hard for us to believe until we truly reprogram our mind on a continuous basis. So just start with easy, believable stuff. So then I had to ask myself, when I was me still looking in the mirror, am I healed? And I'm like, yes. So if I'm healed, and I'm saying I'm healed in my 3D, and I know I'm healed, and I see the change that has came into my life since I have actively been trying to change the way I think and love and da-da-da, why am I then dealing with the unhealed version of my specific person? And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I truly, it clicked. Am I the new version of me? Yes. And what does the new version of me desire? What does the new version of me deserve? I can't tell you what you deserve in your reality. I only know what I deserve in mine, and that I'm no longer going to try to force love on someone for them to be that version. That's not how it works. You can't do nothing. There's nothing you can do to that person to make them be what you want. You have to see them as that person in your mind, and then they change through the energy that's put into the universe. So, this was a deep question I had to ask myself. How can I prove to myself that I am a new version of me so that I stop settling for unhealed people? Now, what I'm saying is, and I don't even mean relationships, but I mean just like your kids, your friends, your coworkers. Like, why are you seeing them in this negative light? If I'm a new version of me and I know what the problem is, why does it appear as if nothing is changing? Because I'm not seeing them as changed. That's the only thing, is you still remembering the old fights you and your coworker had, the old fight you and your sister had, the old fight you and your mama. You still bringing that stuff back up, and it's still in your psyche. You have not truly forgiven. Like I said, you can forgive them and not deal with them, but they should not be showing up in your reality as if negative version of self. That's why, when they say two people can get different results out of the same person, because it's how they're seeing that person. It's how if they see that person as a person that will never betray me, never backdoor me, then they wouldn't, right? They can't. Versus they might betray or backdoor somebody else because somebody else already sees them in that negative light. Because the tongue holds everything. The words you say that are connected to the thoughts that you are thinking are what controls everything. Your words are a weapon. There is really life and death in your words. So I'm not saying that unhealed people don't deserve love, because they do. I'm still gonna help unhealed people. I'm just not gonna date one. That's all. It's just that's not the relationship that I see for me. I want the relationship with the healed version of this person. And that was a lesson that I did have to learn. 42 years in the making. I cannot heal an unhealed person. You cannot love an unhealed person into being healed. You have to just start seeing them as healed and let them work it out within their inner man to show up as healed. They have to help themselves. So like I said, just affirm that they heal and move on with your life for right there. And I don't mean like don't love them, don't want to be with them, don't manifest them, don't think about them, but just until they show up as the version that you know that they have the potential to be, right? Give it don't feed into it. Don't feed into the negative. Don't feed into the what you don't want, because you just bringing more of it about into your life. So when you think of them as healed. And you think of them as healed until these become your dominant thoughts. Until as soon as they pop up in your head, you only think of a healed version of them. You only see a healed version of them. And then give them time to show up as the healed version. Don't, as soon as you see their phone ring, oh, they finna lie. They finna say some bullshit. They finna, don't even answer the phone. If them are your first dominant thoughts, don't even answer the phone. But if your first dominant thought can be, okay, this is the healed version of them, then really truthfully let them show up as the healed version of him. You will see wonders being worked. Trying to heal an unhealed person is fruitless because it's showing you a mirror of yourself. When they show up like that, they're showing you that you still have healing within yourself that you need to work on. That is what they're there for, showing you. You getting mad with them, arguing with them. Why you don't love me? Why you don't do this? Why we don't do that? Like you saying all that to a dead 3D, because you know that these are already old thoughts that you have been thinking. Like, what you getting mad at them for? That's why I don't understand. I don't know. We got to get rid of that getting mad at the people for them showing up how we see them. You get mad at them for them doing what they have no will or free choice to do, but to show up how you see them. Get mad at yourself. Go look in the mirror, get mad at yourself, and then fix that. If you were healed, that person will show up as the healed version you want, because you attract what you think you are. Okay? Oh, that was on my notes. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. So like, if you're ready for that change, if you're ready to, and guess what? I believe that you can date a person that you've dated before and have different results in a relationship. If you worked on your healing and your mental and your subconscious, yes, you can date them and they be a whole totally different version of themselves, and you can go on to be happy with that person. If you're a specific person, if you keep manifesting them in, manifesting them out, right? You got that back and forth. You keep feel like you're getting the same results. You can change the dynamics of that, and you can have them be the person that you want when you work on the healing within yourself, when you drill it into your head that you are healed. Even if you gotta listen to these subliminals at night that say you are healed, listen to them. I believe in subliminals. Subliminals work. They help, because when you sleep, your mind's still working. So subliminal, y'all see Neville in my background? Look at Neville. Look at Neville. Neville got her. But I believe that's because they talk to your subconscious mind when you sleep. See, in our waking mind, we can talk to our subconscious mind and we can force ourselves to have thoughts, right? And we can make those be our dominant thoughts when we're waking. But we also need to have those be our dominant thoughts when we're, like, you know, when you're driving home from work and you're like, how'd I get home? Okay, thoughts are still running. Or when you just, before you go to sleep, like there are times when our thoughts are still on that we may not necessarily be controlling all the way, but they're still on autoplay. So why not make those thoughts be the best thoughts for you and your reality? So I just encourage you to, if whoever is showing up as a version that you don't really necessarily want to deal with or like, that you look within yourself and figure out, why am I seeing them this way, and then affirm against it and work on yourself. No need to argue with them. I mean, you know, I mean, sometimes I do argue back with the 3. I ain't gonna lie, but that's just my personality. But I'm just saying, but you don't have to. You still get your way anyway. You still manifest what you want. Like, you know. So I just want to encourage you guys that whatever it is that you're seeking is seeking you, and the best version, or manifest, you can affirm they show up as the best version of them. Whatever it is, you need to be, these thoughts need to be on repeat in your mind. As soon as you think of that person, you need to be thinking, oh, they are always so nice to me. Oh, they always treat me with care and concern. Oh, they always have my best interest at heart. Why? Because I have my best interest at heart, and anybody around me has my best interest at heart. I'm so catered to, loved, and chosen. Like, and I only deal, I will help an unhealed person for sure. That is me. I like to give help to people because those people will be gravitated towards me. I mean, even when I'm out, strangers gravitate towards me and they tell me their whole life story. I always feel like I should have been a bartender because people love to tell me their life story. And I will always help those people because we are all connected. But I don't have to date, be in love with, marry, or have a kid with an unhealed version of anyone. AKA, I'm going to heal my own self so that from now on, I only end up in healthy relationships that end how I desire, in a healthy, loving, talk to each other loving, treat each other lovingly, no vices that are detrimental to the relationship, financially. Everything that you are looking for is already in you. And I know a manifestation, we know, we like, oh, well, I changed that. I worked on that. I am that version of me. Great. Now you got to start seeing your spouse, your person, as that version too. If you really truly have changed, if you really truly have changed, if you really truly are healed, you're going to see that person as healed. And if you fall yourself, if you feel yourself, if you see yourself falling back into the cycle of trying to prove your love to an unhealed version, leave them alone. Go to the mirror, go within yourself and ask yourself, why am I dealing with this when I don't have to, when I don't deserve it? I'm only going to give my love in a relationship where it is reciprocated to a healed version of that person. Stop seeing them as unhealed. That is the biggest thing that you can do right now for yourself in any relationship in order to exact the change that you have been desiring. Okay? I love you, YouTube, so much. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.